Hey guys, it's 11:19 at night, so yay! I need more sleep. Anyways, we need to talk about sequences. Sequences is a fancy word for number patterns. And we know number patterns. A number pattern would be 2, 4, 6, 8, which is even numbers. Odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Whoops, one too many ones. And even numbers, we should know it's multiplied by 2, right? So the equation for even numbers could be represented by 2 times n. Odd numbers, well, odd numbers are 1 less or 1 more than even numbers. So it'd be 2n minus 1 or 2n plus 1, depending on what this n is. So we gotta talk about what the n is. What is the n? The n is the term number in the sequence. So all that means is if I have a list of 20 numbers and I want to talk about the 12th number in the list, n would be 12. That's what that means. Difference is the increase or decrease in the pattern. And a sub 1 is the first term in the sequence, so it's always going to be whatever is listed first. A sub 1, it's always the first number that's listed in your sequence, or list of numbers is really what a sequence is. A sub n is the nth term in the sequence, and that means it's a value. Whatever the nth term is, it's referring to a specific term, we just don't know what the nth term is. If it's talking about 20, if it's talking about the 5th term, usually the nth term is given to us. It's said, I want to know the 5th term in the sequence, or I want to know the 7th term in the sequence. So that's what the nth term means. This equation is actually given to you on your reference table. I have it written differently here than what's on your reference table. The only difference is a sub n is still the same, and that sub means a subscript. It's determining, or it's describing what that variable is, and that means the nth term in your sequence. A sub 1 is my first term, so that's what that 1 means, is the first term, plus n minus 1 times your difference. I like to write it as difference times n minus 1, just because you guys are so used to distributing a single term into a binomial rather than distributing a binomial to a single term or a single term to a binomial backwards, however you want to think about it. So this is given on a reference table. And there was a couple words that popped up. Arithmetic means a consistent pattern. That is added or subtracted. With the same value. Repeatedly. So here I'm adding 2 each time, repeatedly. If I had something like 25, negative 10, negative 25, I'm decreasing by negative 15. So it's just a consistent difference in your sequence or in your pattern. So if I'm looking at number 1, I want to find the difference. So that's what I'm increasing or decreasing by each time. And the equation of the nth term. If it ever says the equation of the nth term, you're just plugging in the values that you know into the equation off the reference table. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d, or you can change this the placement of d and just put it in front of the binomial. So it'd be a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. So looking at this sequence, 13 to 17, 17 to 21, 21 to 25, 25 to 29, you're increasing by 4 each time, so a positive 4. Because you're adding 4 each time. So I know my difference is equal to 4. Can I determine a sub 1? Yeah, I know a sub 1, my first term in my sequence, is 13. It's always going to be whatever's listed first. A sub 1 means the first term. Do I know a sub n? No, that's what I wanted to find, is the equation of the nth term, so I need to find it. And if I don't know what term number I'm talking about, if I don't know if I want the 5th term, the 7th term, the 12th term in my sequence, I still don't know n, so that's going to stay the variable n. So in my equation, a sub n equals a sub 1 plus my difference times n minus 1. Well, a sub n is the equation I want to find. A sub 1 is 13. My difference, we said, was 4. And n, I don't know my term number. I don't know which term number I want to talk about. So I'm just trying to figure out an equation I can use to figure out what my nth term would be. So that would equal, if I simplify the equation, 13 plus 4n minus 4, which simplifies further by combining like terms of 13 and negative 4, into 9 plus 4n. Or you can write it as 4n plus 9. Same thing. Looking at number 2, I have 38 to 35, 35 to 32, 32 to 29, 29 to 26. So I am going down. Am I going down consistently? Well, let's see. Negative 3, negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. I'm subtracting 3 each time from 38 to 35, 35 to 32. So I know I have a difference of negative 3. A sub 1, well, what's my first term in my sequence? What's listed first? 38. Still don't know a sub n. And then I want to plug it into my equation. So a sub n is the formula I'm trying to figure out, the equation I'm trying to figure out. A sub 1 means my first term in my sequence, which is 38, plus my difference, or if I'm adding a negative 3, I'm really subtracting a 3, right? Times n minus 1. I would distribute my negative 3 into my binomial. So I'd have a sub n equals 38 minus 3n plus 3, which would give me 41 minus 3n. Number 3. In an arithmetic sequence, a sub 4 is equal to 19, a sub 7 is equal to 31. So that is giving me the 4th term, because that little subscript represents the term number. So I know the 4th term in my sequence, and I know my 7th term in my sequence. So a sub 4, a sub 7. What terms am I missing in between there? Well, count your numbers. I'm missing the 5th term and the 6th term. So a sub 5 and a sub 6. So I'm starting with a sub 4 is 19, ending with a sub 7 is 31. How am I getting from 19 to 31? So I'm increasing from a sub 4 to a sub 5, a sub 5 to a sub 6, and a sub 6 to a sub 7. So I'm increasing a total of 3 times. If I'm increasing a total of 3 times, how would I figure out what my difference is between each of those terms? First, I'd have to figure out my difference in between 31 and 19, which would give me 12. And how many times am I breaking up 12? Well, I'm increasing a total of 3 times, so I'm breaking it up into 3 parts. So that would mean I'm dividing it by 3. Would give me a difference of 4. Because I'm increasing by 4 each time. So I can figure out those two middle terms if I wanted to. 19 plus 4 would give me 23. 23 plus 4 would give me 27. 27 plus 4 would give me 31. Well, I want to figure out the formula for a sub n, which is the nth term in the sequence. So I want to figure out my formula again, which is off your reference table. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus my difference times n minus 1. Well, in that equation, I know my difference, just figured it out, but I don't know a sub 1. I don't know that first term. So, since we have a number pattern, and I know I increase by 4, I can list my other 3 terms that I'm missing, a sub 3, a sub 2, a sub 1, and figure out what my 3 terms before 19 would be. And how would I do that? Well, instead I'm going up in my sequence, I'm going backwards. So I have to decrease by 4 to figure out my first term. So if I'm decreasing by 4, I'd have 15, 11, and 7. So a sub n would equal, my first term in my sequence would be 7, plus my difference is 4, times n minus 1. And they might leave it like that if it was a multiple choice, or they could simplify it further. So a sub 7, or a sub n equals 7 plus 4 times the quantity n minus 1. So I'd have to distribute my 4. 7 plus 4n minus 4. So I'd get a sub n equals 3 plus 4n, or 4n plus 3. Because remember, that's a commutative property, so you can rearrange it. Number 4 says find the common difference in the sequence. So in this weekend, it's too late. 11:34. Go to bed. All right. In the sequences below. So, and it says difference. So it's telling me it has to be in arithmetic because difference refers to arithmetic sequences. So I want to figure out how I'm changing negative 6x into 2x, or negative 2x into 2x, 2x into 6x, and 6x into 10x. Well, am I increasing or decreasing? Would I have a positive difference or a negative difference? Well, negative 6 to negative 2, negative 2 to positive 2, 2 to 6, and 6 to 10, I'm increasing. So I know it's a common difference that's a positive. Well, if I wanted to figure out what my difference was, difference means subtract. So I want to take my next term and subtract my previous term. So 10x minus 6 would give me a common difference of 4x. And if I did it with another pair, 6x minus 2x still gives me 4x. So I have a common difference of 4x. Do I know what x is? No, I have no idea. But it's just another variable that we could plug something into. Now what if I had 3a plus 4 into 7a plus 2, and then 7a plus 2 into 11a, and 11a into 15a minus 2. Again, in order to figure out your difference, the reason it's called difference is because if you need to figure it out and it's not a clear number pattern, like these ones up here, because it's easier to figure out with actual numbers, you can add or subtract in your head. you always take the previous term, or the next term, sorry, next term. So I'm just going to pull this pair right here. So the next term in my sequence would be 15a minus 2 minus 11a. So looking at those, if I combine like terms, 15a minus 11a would give me 4a. I don't have any like terms with minus 2, so it's still minus 2. If I did it similarly with another pair, we'll pull the first pair. It's going to be 7a plus 2 minus 3a plus 4. Well, what do you have to be careful about if you're subtracting a quantity? You need parentheses. So that would be 7a plus 2 minus 3a minus 4. So if I'm subtracting that quantity, I have to distribute my negative. So if I combine like terms, I would have 4a, 7a minus 3a gives me 4a. And then 2 minus 4 would give me a negative 2. So I know my difference is 4a minus 2, which I just double checked to make sure I was right for both problems. So that is arithmetic sequence in a nutshell. So next would be geometric sequences on the next video lesson. So stay tuned for my crazy videos because I am exhausted. Remember, come to reviews, study what you can, look online for online resources if you would rather do it on your own. But ask questions if you need to. See you tomorrow.